we are creeping closer and closer to these weddings. I think we ended this episode with 10 days left. You know, it's getting serious. You know, we're down into crunch time now, and I almost feel like our couples are a little bit too overwhelmed by the whole situation and having to get ready for the wedding in 10 days that some of them aren't taking a close enough look at their relationships. So it will be interesting to see if that changes in the final 10 days. But, you know, going back into your lives, having your significant other meet your family for your first time, all while like basically still trying to get to know that person is very difficult. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how everyone can navigate that. Let's jump into our first couple for the week. It's going to be our cliffhanger couple, Natalie and Shane. First off, so glad that Shane immediately told Natalie everything that Shayna said. You know, I was a little worried about that, but so happy that he just came over, said everything, just how it was, and I feel like that Natalie needed that to just move forward and leave the whole Shayna situation behind. I hope we don't get any more Shayna moving forward, but you never know on these shows. They like to throw us some curveballs, even though they are directly messing with people's lives. The wedding planning. What on earth was that wedding planning? Like, Shane was planning an epic kids party for grown-ups. He was like, there. If he was just totally, actually, you know what? I hope he is totally in charge of planning that wedding, because I want to see the spectacle. I want to see all those things that his mind comes up with. You know, the old-fashioned fountain that he was describing sounded amazing. Like, I can't even fully envision it, because he was saying there's tubes going everywhere, and you get an old fashioned. Love that. But it was also interesting to see that even though Shane was very much joking around with some of the things he was saying, there was very much intention underneath, because, you know, when things did get slightly more serious, find out that he mentioned the old-fashioned fountain because that was his dad's favorite drink. His dad passed away a few months ago, and he wants to feel like his dad is still part of everything. So as much as he is just a big goofball, you know, there is some thought and meaning behind some of those things that he does. Jump to the end of the episode. We are headed to meet Natalie's parents, and very clearly both Shane and Natalie were quite nervous about this encounter. Natalie's mom very much opposed to everything as soon as she hears it, not having it, and her dad was a little more relaxed, you know, basically saying, like, at least give the guy a chance. Like, it's Natalie's life, it's her decision, just give him a chance. And then we got left with the cliffhanger of goofball Shane peering around the corner at the end, ready to meet the family, and the look on the mom's face was pretty priceless as we faded to black. So excited to see how all that plays out next episode. And, you know, I'm kind of feeling like they are going to be getting married in 10 days, that there's nobody pulling out of that relationship. Next up, Danielle and Nick. I just feel like we're starting to see too many cracks with this couple. I was really liking them episode 1. You know, when we kind of watched them fall in love with each other, made me so optimistic. But since then, we just keep seeing more cracks, more problems, more issues, more incompatibilities, and I just don't know if we're going to see it work. You know, we've got the age difference, we've got their living arrangement. Not, well, maybe that's a bad way to, Nick is a neat freak. Danielle is not. And sometimes those two combined, totally fine. Other times, total nightmare. If one person is very particular about things, but then expects the other person to be particular about those things, you can run into problems. But if Nick is going to be particular about how the apartment is, how their house is cleaned, and he just does it, no issue. You know, of course Danielle can help out with that, but you know, if it's going to be his issue, he, in my opinion, can't just burden that on Danielle. The meet the family, it was not good. We met Nick's family this time around, and I hate it when families are negative. I hate it when families talk down about their family member, and we got both of those with Nick's family. And you know, props to Danielle, because she was amazing. Like, she was incredible with Nick's family, and they weren't having it at all. You know, they walk away and she says, oh, that wasn't that bad. Well, from what we saw, it was pretty bad, but you did, Danielle, props to you. You did your best to salvage that situation. From there, we moved into Danielle's place. Let's just jump back for one comment. You know, after meeting Nick's mom, I'm not surprised that he's a little bit older and not married. That's all I'm going to say about that. Nick just did not seem comfortable at Danielle's place. He did not seem comfortable. You know, good sport for putting the corn costume on, but did not seem comfortable. Did not seem like he kind of wanted that in his life. And it could be issues for them moving forward. Let's move on to our next couple, Ayanna and Jarrett. What a contrast from the last family meeting to meeting Jarrett's parents. You know, it's always so nice when the family is not only like loving and accepting, but happy about, you know, seeing their child in this situation. You know, his parents were happy to meet Ayanna. They were happy that Jarrett was getting married. And, you know, honestly, I'd be happy just watching Jarrett's parents just totally replace Ayanna and Jarrett, and they're just on the show for the rest of the season because they seemed awesome. I also loved hearing that Jarrett's dad wanted to officiate their wedding as the first wedding he had ever done in his life, because he said he always wanted his firstborn son to be that first wedding he did. Thought it was just an amazing gesture from his dad, and just a very loving moment. From there, things kind of went downhill. We cut back to Ayanna and Jarrett living together, and it just doesn't seem like Jarrett is even attempting to adjust to being in a relationship. He's there, they got the cameras on, they're trying to have a conversation. Jarrett's sitting there playing video games while Ayanna's trying to talk to him and start planning the wedding. And then next thing you know, Jarrett's headed out the door for a night on the town with his friends, with Ayanna staying at home to watch some shows. And just gave me that not a relationship vibe. You know, Jarrett can say that he loves Ayanna. Jarrett can say that he's ready for marriage. But right now, I don't think he's showing those things. And it's not that Jarrett can't play video games and be married. I play video games all the time. I'm still happily married. But, you know, I know that sometimes I have to put that down and do something with my wife, do something for my wife, you know, put some time into my marriage. Also, the going out with friends, not an issue, but it kind of just gave the vibe of Jarrett just ditching Ayanna and also going out and drinking on a Tuesday night. When you're in this situation, just felt weird. Like, I don't know if anybody else agrees with that. Just felt weird to me. Like, maybe if it's like, oh hey, it's my best friend's birthday, we're gonna go for a couple drinks. But this just felt like, oh, it's Tuesday, let's go get some drinks. Leave your wife at home, and let's go. I didn't like that, and left me not very confident for this relationship moving forward. Next up, Mallory and Salvador. One thing that really struck me this episode was just how different the relationship between Mallory and Salvador and Mallory and Jarrett was. The vibe is just so vastly different. Mallory honestly seemed like a different person when, like, especially that conversation at the party between Mallory and Jarrett, where she was kind of giving the impression of being a guy's girl. Let's go watch some sports, let's hang out, let's have a couple beers, versus Salvador, where we had to sit down with Salvador's roommate and they played the song for her, and she was soft and tender and very loving. Just almost gives the impression of two different people. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but just an observation I had. Mallory's sister felt like she was panicking a bit when she met Sal. She was spiraling a bit, rambling a bit, and then it goes into so much negativity about the whole thing that really was unnecessary. She doesn't want to give Sal a chance just based on the situation, even though their conversation, but what happened between Mallory's sister and Sal went very well. Mallory's sister did not seem to care, and that she's saying how difficult it is. And no, this isn't difficult for you. This is difficult for Mallory. This is difficult for Sal. This isn't difficult for you. You just have to show up to the wedding. You just have to pack your pride up for 1 hour of your life and go and support your sister. That's not difficult for you. You're not the one in the difficult situation. And I did not appreciate hearing that from Mallory's sister. Lastly, Deepti and Shake. Deepti's family was nice. Shake's family was nice. I really liked that. But let's jump past that and give a shout out to Shake's mom for calling Shake out for not thinking Deepti is hot enough for him. I loved hearing Shake's mom say, if you're even holding back 0.5%, then she deserves better. And maybe that will be a wake-up call for Shake, because everything else in this relationship is somehow lining up. Everything. They seem happy together. They have everything but the sex. And you know what? They could have the sex too if they just choose to have that. It's a weird situation for me, because I think that if Shake ends up backing out of this relationship, it is going to be something that haunts him for the rest of his life, because I think that they are actually a great pair, and Deepti seems to be bringing out a better side of Shake than what we saw back in the pods before he met her. All right, that is going to wrap things up for episode 7. As always, everybody, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, we will see you later.